I feel like now is good a time as any to just say, "Ask me about my wiener." We're never gonna have a better time.
I was pumped that they made the reference.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if people are listening know that. What that's from? It's Accepted, right?
Yeah. It's from Accepted with Jonah Hill doing it. Just a great movie. They don't make movies like that anymore. Comedies have just fallen right out the window.
Underrated. Yeah. I forgot it. Justin Long. Yeah. Blake Lively?
I think so, yeah.
Jonah Hill, and there's a couple other randos in there. Wow. Ask me about my wiener. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Boot Scoot Magoots. What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot. Just here to talk about our favorite show on TV now.
Southern Hospitality. It is, honestly. Like, this is my favorite show.
Even for like the episodes that you can consider as down episodes, they're just still so funny. Like, nothing bothers me now that like we really don't give a shit about Will and Emmy. And obviously we'll talk a little bit more about that this episode because it seems to be something that we have to talk about all the time, but I don't care about it anymore. So we will just recap it, talk about it. You guys know how we feel. But even like Joe and Maddi getting into it, it's so funny the way that they fight. Like, everything is just funny to me for this show, and I love it.
Well, I agree. And there is one scene that irritated me, but not in like, I don't want to watch this kind of way, more in a, how is your younger sister more mature than you kind of way. You know what I mean? Like that. I was just like, this is crazy to watch. But yeah, I agree with you. There's never a visceral reaction from me where I'm like, fuck this show. And we get that way sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I love the shows we watch, but there are times like if it's a slog through kind of season, and we've had a few of those, you get one of those episodes where one of like a recurring trope happens, and I'm like, fuck this show. Fuck everything about it.
that rears its ugly head here and again. But look, as long as the cast doesn't start getting too rich and they don't have to start pretending like they work at Republic and they're living in bigger houses, this show will be great.
Oh wow! What, you don't want them to be successful? Is what you're saying?
No. For my enjoyment, I want them to stay the same.
Minimum wage contracts.
Yep.
Forever to keep the authenticity of the show. Well, shit. Yeah. After this episode, TJ might be rich. I think this is a good idea. I think Sir Weiners is a hit.
Yeah. They pivoted over to Lamar's Sports Club, so they're no longer at Republic. But every Sunday, you can get yourself some Sir Weiners.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea, and the merch. Again, everybody, I know we've been saying it for weeks now. If you haven't looked at the merch, like, it's legit. Like, you
can only pre-order it now. So I know they have hoodies, crew necks, sweatpants, t-shirts, all of that sort. But I don't know when they're actually coming out. I think it's still in pre-order. I feel like what he was probably doing is waiting until this episode came out. I thought that he had, and we'll talk about his party a little bit later. But I thought that everything, like the attention to detail, was so good. The little matchbooks on the counter were so cool. Little coasters. Like, he really went all out. I'm proud of him.
And those dogs,
they look good.
Look solid. I love a good hot dog. Love a good hot. You know what shirt I want?
What?
I want the crop top that says Wieners on it.
Yeah, you do.
For this summer.
That checks out. Yeah, I
know. At least I'm consistent.
Down Wildwood, dude. Down Wildwood on the beach.
I'll fucking rock that shit down Wildwood. I'll be like, yo, ask me about my wiener, and I'll wear my wiener shirt. Yeah,
you'll have you'll be walking up on the boardwalk with all the people in their probably Cooper DeJean jerseys, because that's going to go multi-platinum this summer in Wildwood.
Wildwood most valuable jersey will be Cooper DeJean without fail, followed closely by
Saquon.
Yeah, that's
Saquon,
the rundown. Yep. And then there'll be a Hertz jersey, and that person, if you walk by them every time, they will say QB1. It's QB1. Fuck the haters.
Yep. And I will not argue with that person.
No, he is QB1. Everyone else said, by the way, fuck the haters. Anyway, let's get to some SoHo. And it's good you don't get bothered by them anymore, because we start out with Emmy and Will, and everybody's recovering from Vegas. Everyone's laying in bed till 4 p.m., waking up a little groggy. And I will say this. These two suck. Okay, like, it's just tough.
I thought that was going to be like such a deeper quote or something.
No.
Look, I will say this much about them.
Yeah, let
and
me
then you
just
go
say
into
this.
like a 5-minute long like sermon about how much they suck. Instead,
No.
these two just suck.
Yeah, well, I'm where you are. I don't have the energy for it anymore because I just want to enjoy this show. So when I see them, my expectations are now so low that I don't get aggravated. I'm just like, oh, here we go.
I'm with you. I am so with you.
Especially like the way they view the weekend. Even they're like, we had to deal with everyone's bullshit. It's like, no, Emmy, you had to deal with your boyfriend's bullshit. This is all a product of him, but you're going to keep blaming it on everybody else. And you can tell that he's guilty in this scene because he's like, yeah, you know, it really bothered me, but I'm ready to just brush it. I'm ready to just brush it under the rug.
But like what pisses me off the most is, and like obviously I get like it's a TV show and you guys think that this is captivating and it's huge and it's all this and that and whatever. From the sounds of it, you guys actually had, maybe Will didn't, but Emmy had a great weekend. Like you guys got to go out to Vegas on a cast trip. You probably didn't pay for shit.
No, you're on Maddi's diet.
Bottles. Yeah, hence why Joey Bottles was getting room service at 2:00 in the morning with caviar and lobster and all that.
No, that's because he thought that they actually got married. I'm going to talk about that.
Yeah, I know. That is so funny. But like, you guys had a good weekend. Emmy talks about how she went to the casino with Maddi. Like, that's the girl time. Like, clearly your relationship's not affecting your friendship with Maddi if you're still able to hang out with her in the casino till 5 a.m. Everything sounds so fun. And yet you guys really just want to like destroy our eardrums with your dumb bullshit about your relationship.
Me, like just negative Nancy's.
Hates us.
Yeah, we're the pariah of Charleston. Oh my God.
Oh God.
And then they point at, and look, is there some truth to this? Yes. But this is projection coming from these two because they're like, I think Maddie's freaking out from that wedding thing. I think she's freaking out. I'm like, shut up. You're just trying. She's
not freaking out from the wedding thing, but
no,
you know, we'll talk about what's going on.
We will talk about it. But what Emmy's doing right here is quite clearly jealousy because Will would never do this for you. And Joey Bottles did it after 4 months of dating Maddi. That's what this is about. It's not about anything else. So don't try to make it about anything else. But let's move on. You ready to move on? I think we can just leave those in the dust. Yeah, I'd like to move on too, because now we get back to Joe and Maddi, and they seem pretty chill. Like, I liked how they jumped from that scene to this scene, and it's just like waking up, Maddie's back is sore. She does mention some certain things, and I could see that. She's like, you know, the wedding wasn't real. And you hear Joe making, and I'm sure he's been doing this since, and it's one of those where he's kind of joking, but he also wants her to match his energy. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's like, yeah, wife, is she? Yeah, he's like, come on, funny, like, dude. Like, play into it, like, please. And she's like, haha, Joe, okay, like, get your fucking hairs off the sink. He's like, oh, like, by the way, like, shaving over somebody is fucking diabolical.
Oh, yeah, that is diabolical.
Dick move. Like, the little stubble, you don't get that out of clothes.
No, you can't get that out of clothes at all. But yeah, I think that like he could have easily just woken up and said something like, you know what? We didn't really talk about your name change. You're going to change your last name? Bottles? Maddi Bottles?
That would be funny. That would be funny.
But like he just keeps doing it. And like, I feel like if anybody else on this show kept making the joke, I would be rolling my eyes by like the third or fourth time. I cracked up laughing every single time that he said something about her being his wife or the wedding or whatever it was. It's just so funny. Like in the middle of a heated moment later in the episode, he goes, yeah, I mean, and you're my wife. Like,
I know.
Like, how are you
but
still
it's because he wants her to match the energy. He wants her to say, I know, you're my husband, haha. And she's not there because she is. But like, she's fine,
her
by the way.
Credit, if she does it, who knows if there's ever going to be a stop in this? Like, if you give him a little bit more, he's just going to keep going. He's going to take it to the next level. You don't want to do that. You don't want to open that door for Joe.
No, you want to knock him down a little bit. But the thing is, like, she's not like panicking. She's not hitting the panic throttle because he's talking about this stuff. She's just more getting irritated by it. And you jump back to like Emmy and Will, and she's like, vacation's over. Like, you're free. It's like, dude, fucking stop with the negativity because your relationship sucks. All right. Like, just get over it.
Stop trying to ruin the show.
I know. And she's like, oh, like he was so pissed when they got back to the room. And I agree. Like, that's not a great look, Joey. Like, they went down to the casino. They're in fucking Vegas. It's Maddie's trip. And they partied. They played blackjack till 5 a.m. And he's like, it was our wedding night. It was our wedding night. And I ordered caviar and lobster and this and that and the other. It's like, Joey, we love you to death. You did not get married, bro. You didn't get married. You didn't get married.
Oh my God. He just has an ability to just continue to take the joke to the next level. Like all of this was fully planned out before he even
Oh
went
my
out to
God,
Vegas.
yeah.
We knew that he had the wedding and everything planned out, but I'm talking about the room service. I'm saying
Yeah.
that he probably had so much more planned. I guarantee you there was probably like rose petals somewhere in there in the bed. Like he really
Oh,
did
there
want
was
to drive
definitely
this
rose
home. Like
petals.
this is our wedding night, right? Yeah.
Like that. Here's the thing: if she had gone along with it and been like, "This counts, right?" He'd be like, "Yes, we're married now." But he's like, he's kind of keeping it at bay because she's like, at every confessional she has, she's like, "It wasn't real.
I know.
It's a joke, everybody. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke, everybody." But the bottom line, she's handling it well. She's taking it in stride, and he's excited, and he just wants her to match his energy. But we get to Lake and Michaels, and Lake's over Brad. It's like the chase was fun. It was a good time. Let's put this one in a box, tuck it under the bed. We don't have to talk about it. I'm like, I'm down. Great. Perfect.
I am so down for it. Yeah. I like a little
Love
fling.
that. Yeah, I love a little fling, and I love that we can move on with no drama. No one has to fucking get pissed off because they hook up with somebody else. And just they made out. Let's move on from this whole thing. But we're at Republic, and I will always give this dude props, Michaels, for being like the most mature, responsible 21-year-old ever. He's like, yeah, when I leave Republic, I panic because that place can't function without me. And he's like recanting a story of he was gone and somebody called somebody a bitch, everything melted down. He's like, this is why I don't go. Leva gives him his flowers where he's like this phenom. So I will always give him props because I'm just so impressed by the guy.
Yeah.
But it's Sir Weiner's prep. That's what we're prepping for. We have TJ's big event. He got his hot dog cart ready to go. I'm going to talk about it right now because hot dog cart, right, implies mobile. I can roll cart.
Yeah, totally.
We need to fix the cart if you need a dolly to move the cart, no?
Yeah, we're gonna need some wheels on that bad boy. Anytime you say hot dog cart, I think about like the beach, the hot dog carts down there. They've all got the beach tires. Right. You can fashion that bad boy however you want. You got to get some wheels on it.
We need wheels, right? Like that's a big. I mean, hopefully, if they're doing well, we'll know how that's it. We'll know how well Sir Weiners is doing, whether or not his wheels next. Yeah, if they have wheels.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good sign if they get wheels on that thing. But we got TJ, Mia, and Molly, and they're at brunch, like I said, prepping for the Sir Weiners event, and they're going over the boys' brunch that they had in Vegas. And even the flashback pissed me off because the fact that Will and Emmy continue to play victim role every single time is really tired. And it's just such a soft way to go about this whole thing rather than be like, I'm an asshole. Sorry, boys. So that irritated me. But the other part of it, and I caught on to it a lot more once TJ pointed it out, and I caught on to it later at the Sir Weiners event. He's like, there's this arrogance about Will that he thinks he's better than me. He just kind of brushes off what I say. Like, and once I started paying attention, like I see it, and that's stupid. And that pisses me off even more because it's like, all right, dude, you're going to law school. That doesn't make you better than anybody. That, like, who gives a shit? I don't know.
No, it doesn't. But like, he should be groveling for their respect. Like, if you're going to be quote unquote man enough to take responsibility for the things that you said about your own girlfriend at Republic in front of everybody else, bringing everybody in, like, yeah, if you want to create this image of yourself that you're doing this and you're taking responsibility for your shitty actions, you should also have some humility and hope that these guys will give you a second chance. But instead, he just has this air about him where like he doesn't care. He just doesn't care. And unfortunately for Emmy, he does that to her too. Like, she's fully convinced, like, he's going to propose to me. We're going to have this beautiful life together. Like, this is what I want. No, like, he has not shown you that at all. All he's shown is that he is an asshole. He treats you terribly. He treats everyone terribly. So he wants to just be in a world of his own. And like, yeah, maybe he's got friends at law school that he's going to hang out with. Maybe he's got other friends and he doesn't need these guys anymore. I don't know what it is, but like, there's jealousy. There's just like no humility. I just don't know what's going on and why anybody's not clocking this and just saying, fuck it. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing by now. TJ's feelings are a little hurt. I think he was probably close to Will and he just feels like, what the hell's going on? But you can see Joe, you can see Brad, you can see everybody else just like, why are we even going to bother with him anymore? There's just no reason.
But that's the point they should be at. And I think that they're holding on to certain things because they were boys with him. He was their best friend. People grow and change and not always for the better. And the guy that comes back from law school every time, does seem arrogant. He does seem like he thinks he's better than you. So why?
Maybe it's because he's getting bullied. Maybe he is getting bullied at law school, and he comes back and he's like, you know what? It's the chain of bullying. I need to now bully my friends. I got to bully my girlfriend. I got to take command because I have no control over the things that is happening at law school by this guy over here calling me Bravo boy.
That would be the most softer than Charmin move you could possibly do, if that is what he's doing. And I think Mia said it best. Mia says it the best, or is it Molly? I think Molly said it. She said, no one's making a rumor about some mediocre white dude. And chef's kiss, perfectly said. They're not. And even if they are, you're fucking, what, 29? Grow up. Yeah. Get over it. Why would that affect you? You're in law school. Like, do your homework. Stop worrying about what Austin's brother's saying about you. Like, come on. It's just so soft. The whole thing, it's stupid. It's so soft. They also point out that anytime anything is approached, Will doesn't even have to do anything because Maddi immediately jumps to his defense, and it's deflection. You can tell this was a very good scene for Molly because she really does have a pretty good vantage point of all this and a really good take on all of this because she's like, her entire identity is Will, right? So much more now than it used to be. And I think that's why we liked her last year because we got to see her pursuing her own thing. She was very, very dedicated to the job at Republic. She really shined last season. Now that she doesn't have that and she's taken a step down and she's refocused back to seemingly whatever Will's going to do. That's my life. I want to get married, have kids, white picket fence, all that. I want to be married to a lawyer. So anytime somebody questions her reality, they're also questioning her identity and they're questioning her future. And if she put all this time, effort, and energy to have this picture perfect white picket fence life that, by the way, is not waiting for you at the end of this because he's a dickhead, then when you challenge him, you're challenging her. And I was like, that's very astute, Molly. Very astute observation.
I think that Molly's in a great spot too. And this is a good group too, because you have TJ who, like I said before, is very hurt by all of this. And again, he's very close to all of this. You have Mia, who is very close to all of this, but she doesn't really care. She's not going to mince words. She's going to speak her mind. She's going to tell everybody how she feels. And she seems to be the way of logic for most of this group anyway, where she'll be able to see through all the bullshit and just call it out immediately instead of taking the time to like carefully word things. Like she just doesn't care about hurting feelings or stepping on toes. And then you have Molly, who is an unassuming third party, who isn't that close to this, who's not going to be any sort of, connected to one side or another. She's going to be able to just see it for what it is at like a higher altitude, look over everything and be like, yeah, this is bullshit. And if she's sitting there, and we have heard her say before, she doesn't necessarily care for Emmy. When her and Siobhan are sitting down in I think the second episode, they don't really like Emmy, and I get that, but they pity her. Exactly. Yes. So if there's somebody here who admittedly you're not really friends with, you're not really close to, you don't really care for, but you're watching this whole situation unfold and you're still able to sit there and say completely unbiased, yeah, Will is ruining her life. He's doing all of this to her. And we've seen him do that. That's the person that we should be listening to. That's the person that TJ needs to be listening to too. And he needs to just, for his own betterment, just remove himself from all of it. Because nothing you can do is going to make your life any better. You're just going to create more of a hellscape for yourself.
Yeah. And by the way, dude, you seem to have found something here. And I believe that. I think this is a good idea. I think this can branch out in a good way. So focus on you. And I think that's something that we see repeatedly with TJ. And I think that might be why we get those moments, because we like TJ. I really like TJ. When he's not being mean to people, he's great. But I think that he goes so low because I think there's times that he's insecure about his path in life, perhaps. Yeah. So when people we see that whenever
he gets his feelings hurt, and then it happens. But you can't deny that he's getting his feelings hurt. Like we watch it happen. It's like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it sucks. Even with the Joe Bradley thing, like our first reaction was like, this whole thing's fucked. But when you hear his side of it, it's like, I still don't love how you handled it. Yeah. But your feelings are valid. Yeah, your feelings are valid too. So I think that's why you see those moments where you're like, ooh, fuck, TJ, that was really mean. I don't think he's like intentionally malicious. I think when he gets his feelings hurt, he lashes out. So I think that because you could see it in his face. You know what? I'll save it for a little bit later because I want to get to that.
Yeah, when we talk to him and Emmy. Yeah.
But we get to the hot dog cart itself, and you get the preamble from him. This is a big deal because he wants to prove himself for a multitude of reasons. My favorite reason by far is the fact that his ex's penis
Yep.
was pet named Sir Weiner, which also is not the most clever nickname.
No.
But it's funny. So this is like a double whammy. He has to be successful, because if not, his ex and his ex's penis get the last laugh, and I won't stand for that. So
I can see TJ knighting his ex's penis, and I dubbed the Sir Weiner. Like, I could see that happening when he was talking about this. Like, that is actually really funny.
It's pretty funny. Okay, that made it better. That actually made it funnier. All right, I'm back on board for the nickname, but we can't let his wiener win. And that's when I said, I wrote down, isn't the point of a hot dog cart to roll? So hopefully we can get some wheels on that bad boy. Maybe we can start a GoFundMe. But after the success of the first event, something tells me they can get some wheels. But we get to I don't know how I felt about this. I really liked this scene. I really liked it. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was going to say my favorite scene, but I don't know if it's my favorite scene.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed it because you get Peyton and Emmy. Peyton is Emmy's sister, 8 years younger. She's coming to visit Emmy. They're having a little sit down, and she brings up these cheating rumors. And just watching her facial reactions to things that Emmy's saying was my favorite part, because she's not buying anything. Yeah, she's like listening to her talk, and she's like, it's just Emmy's rationalizing every way that she possibly can to try to make this okay. She's like, Will and I love each other, and everyone makes up all these lies all the time. And there's like a cut scene of Emmy telling Will how much Will loves her.
Yep.
Right? You love me so much, and this and that. And
he worships the ground that I walk on, I think she said at some point. Like, no.
Which is ridiculous. But she says something about bed sheets as well in this whole monologue about how much this is how much you love me.
Yeah.
The only thing that Will responds to is the bed sheets. I wash my own bed sheets. She just proclaimed your love for her. And your only response is that you wash your own bed sheets.
Those scenes just don't make me uncomfortable anymore. I just don't care. Like, it has no effect on me anymore, because we know what their relationship is. But I did think it was funny because I believe that Emmy brought her sister in thinking this was going to be a good time. This is somebody who's got my back. Right? I need this backup. This is my support person. She's my sister. She loves me. She wants the best for me. Those things are true. Unfortunately, the best thing for you is not Will. So this scene did not go how Emmy thought it would. And we once again got to see her like have a full down anxiety, like panic explanation about everything that's going on, because she could see the tides turning. Peyton is not listening to you. She's looking at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You're nuts.
Why are we doing this? You are absolutely nuts. And I loved it, because that's what we need. We need more people who are close to Emmy to look at her and be like, dude, you are nuts. Like, no, he's not going to propose to you next year. That would be crazy. Based on the things that he's been doing, he's trying to alienate you so that he can have his cake and eat it too. And he doesn't have to worry about you getting any rumors, because you're not going to believe anything, because you have this crazy thing going on where you think everybody's out to get you. They're not. They're trying to help you. And that's all it is. And I feel like she could kind of see Peyton going down that road, but in the best way. And this is just, I guess, there's no better way to explain it than just saying like, this is sisterhood, where she doesn't have to say anything. Peyton doesn't have to respond. She responds with one word answers and just throws a couple of looks like, sure, okay, yeah. And that speaks so much louder than anybody else at Republic going after Emmy and talking about Will cheating. It's like, dude, your sister hates your boyfriend. Why are you trying to do this?
I don't know. And like you said, she's like, I think Will's going to propose next summer. So what do you think? Should we get married in London? And she's like, I think it's so great that you believe him, because I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, what do you, and she could tell she like took a straight. She's like, wait, what? Like, fuck, this is backfiring. Why is this backfiring? And she's like, I wouldn't believe it. It's just these rumors. The best thing about her responses is that she cleans it up well. She's like, the rumors are just scary. It's just scary. That's all. That's all. Yeah. And I hate that Emmy's approach is this condescending approach as the older sister. You'll learn when you get older. Learn what? She knows more than you.
Based on friendships. Your boyfriend hates you.
He hates you. You're like, if at the very least you're not friends. Like, he literally talks shit about you all over Charleston. And the other big thing to point at here, let's say in some alternate reality, he isn't cheating on her, has not cheated on her, right? Your entire friend group just tried to rip you two apart. All right. Let's say that they didn't cheat. He's actually innocent. This whole thing is some big charade, right? If that's the case, he doesn't brush it. It's not a move where it's like, we'll get over this. I want my friends back. If this is real, it's like, no, guys, you tried to ruin my future marriage. Fuck you. It would be a bigger deal than we're going to sway this water under the bridge. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to go hang out with the boys. It's like, that's not how this would go. So
no,
the writing's on the wall. Your sister sees this whole thing. And if you have to keep defending and if you have to keep speaking for Will, we don't ever lie to each other and you don't cheat on somebody you love. And that's just how it goes. Do I seem happy? Do I seem happy?
If you have to ask that, no.
No. And here's my favorite
person
part.
Never says that.
Because you said we got like a classic, like where she kind of melts down. I've gotten to the point now where I write it down as her freaking out. Do you see?
Oh, that's so funny, dude. Dude, all over the font. The font skipping notes. Yeah, like the fucking Joker laughing.
That's what I wrote. Yeah,
that is pretty much what it is.
So like, I wrote it as crazy as she says it.
It's like a ticking time bomb. It's insane. Like as soon as Peyton says something that she doesn't agree with, and she's like, "Oh shit, are you going to do this to me too?" I'm going to go right into that and spiral in. It's insane. You can count down, like set your watch to it.
Yeah, she's like, yes. After a long pause, she goes, yes, in response to "Do I seem happy?" And then she goes, "Well, you seem overwhelmed." And she goes, overwhelmed? You're so cute. Me? You're so cute. Like, no, she is down to earth. Yeah. Peyton understands what's happening right now. You've lost the plot, and it's not your fault, Emmy. Your boyfriend is a mental terrorist. So, like, I get it. But let's go through this list, and then we can move on from this scene. Okay? All of your friends, all of them, not one or two, all of your friends have warned you about this guy. People you don't know have come up to you and said something about this. People you don't know have heard from Will himself talking shit about you. And now your sister, who is a freshman in college or sophomore in college, just laid it out there for you without laying it out there for you. But we can read between the lines, people. That's when we say it. We've talked about it. You just got to walk away. You're a grown up. If you want to live this life, everybody under the sun has told you, by all means, live your life with this idiot. We're out. You and I at the bros and shows, we're out. I'm done. We're out. I don't care. We're done. I don't care. If this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do. But we get to a very cute little double date. We got Michols and Preston, and then we got Lake and Shelby. And Shelby is Lake's friend. They grew up together. They've been intimate with one another. She describes that friendship as a best friendship with benefits and says that she kind of had her sexual awakening with Shelby. So it's this very, very unique, very important relationship in her life. And we also learn that she goes through phases. Like another part of her being over Brad is she's like, I'm in a girl phase right now. So like, see you later, Brad.
Yeah, I actually like that where she's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just kind of over dudes right now.
Yeah, cool. Totally. Go ahead. Yeah, great. Awesome. Oh, that makes sense.
Dude stuff.
We're fucking gross. I totally get it.
Yeah, we're awful.
So yeah, do you? I thought this was a cool scene. I mean, on one end, we've watched Michael's journey. Obviously, he came out. He had a hard time in Charleston with the dating scene. He's met this dude, Preston. They FaceTimed every day when he was in Vegas. They have that like super cute little smooch one. Like they seem really happy together. So it's been fun to watch this progression of him finding somebody after what he's gone through in Charleston. And you put that next to Lake, who's kind of at this weird crossroads where she starts talking about her relationship with her dad. As we know, super successful family. Southern family, religious family. So she's very concerned about telling him. And that's what Michaels asks, like, how much does your dad know? And they're like, oof, nothing. Like, I don't know how to tell him. And she's more concerned about losing the relationship with her father than she is about letting him know who she really is. And I think it's cool because you have somebody in Michaels who has just taken such a major step in this journey. Right. And he's feeling like he's in a better place now, but he went through the same struggle with his own mom. He's still going through the struggle with his mom. So if there's anybody that can speak on this topic to resonate with Lake, it's Michaels. And I thought he did a really good job because I feel like this is an easy topic to sugarcoat and dance around a little bit. he wasn't mean about it, but he was very forward. Like, there's going to be a day where you're going to have this conversation, because at the end of the day, you're going to lose a part of yourself if you're not honest about who you are. And I was like, that's really well said. And I just thought it was a cool scene to watch him kind of work her through it a little bit. And the fact that she was like open to it, still apprehensive about it, obviously. I just thought it was a cool scene.
Yeah, I think it was a perfectly done scene. I thought that the setup to it throughout the entire season, obviously hearing Michael's backstory, you could see what his reaction was when Lake started to talk about it. And she talked about how, you know, her and her dad just kind of avoid conversations like that. And he, you know, I wouldn't blame him if he got jealous at some point where he's like, oh, like I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't have the opportunity to just kind of avoid it. I came out and my parents are, you know, treating me differently because of that. We've heard him say that.
What is it? His stepdad just kind of like acts like it's not a thing, right?
Yeah.
And his mom is just like anti.
Yeah, that's pretty much the sum of it. But I think it's incredible too, because we have looked at the two of them. They're obviously newcomers to the show. They're the same age. Michaels is somehow 21 going on 45. He has such a great head on him. He knows what's going on. He has all these experiences. He's worldly. He's hardworking. He's driven. He's all of these things. And he's still able to eloquently talk to Lake about this. And obviously it's a common issue. It's a common thing that they're both going to go through. And he's giving her advice in not a, well, you know, you're going to have to get used to this. You're going to have to do that. Right. You're going to have to do this. He's telling her what to look out for. And again, they're the same age. And that's just, it just sums it up perfectly, because we've said this all season, looking at the two of them, watching Lake in Vegas get drunk and just be like, fuck it. Let's talk about Will's cheating allegations. It's like, God damn it. But you have Michael's over there who's worried about work back home. He's reading work about Republic in Vegas. He's worried about Republic. So it's just funny to watch the two of them side by side. But also, this is just really nice. It's really sweet because he's doing it from a way of like, I care about you. And I want you to be able to have this opportunity to think about things a little differently. Like, hey, just have your head on a swivel. Make sure that you're not caught off guard by these things, because they will probably pop up and I've had to deal with them. I'd rather you have a better grasp of what's going on, because I didn't have that. And I love it.
Yeah, it feels like he would rather her take the initiative and initiate this whole thing on her own terms, so that she can come away from it with hopefully the best experience. But excuse me. Yeah, I think that his mentorship through this is something it's special to have for somebody in Lake's shoes.
For sure.
But let's get to Republic for the main event. It's Sir Weiner's time. And immediately, this fucking dick, this blonde-haired bitch from law school, wants to take a shot. I know what he was doing. He walks up and he goes, "Are those hot dogs for the martinis?" That's fucking genius. All right. The whole party is about hot dogs. So let's stick some hot dog garnishes in a fucking martini. Why not? That makes total sense. It's the theme. And there's no fucking way. I'm sorry. There's absolutely no way, if you're lit on martinis and you take a bite of a hot dog, that you're going to be in a bad mood. Okay. Yeah. And then to go further, and I take issue with this as a lifer really, in baseball. Okay.
Yeah.
And
you can
really resonate with this too. Don't you fucking dare shit on hot dogs and call them the lowest tier of sausage. You, sir, are the lowest tier of sausage. Hot dogs are an all-timer. There is never a time that I've had a hot dog and been sad. Every single time I've eaten a hot dog, even if I'm in a bad mood, it has made me feel better. If I have a foot-long hot dog, I'm elated. Do I feel better afterwards? No, I have to take a shit, but that's irrelevant. Dollar Dog Night, I have so many great memories from Dollar Dog Night, and those fuckers took it away, and now this dickhead wants to disparage hot dogs?
We should blame Will.
It is Will's fault. Don't you come in here shitting on hot dogs, especially, bro. My personal feelings aside, this is about fucking hot dogs for your boy. Fake it. Don't walk in there. No, he's not. He doesn't fucking like him. No. But he walks in there and he's better than the hot dog martini. He's better than Sir Weiners. Then go back to law school and leave everybody alone. They're better off without you shitting on their parade. You know what I mean?
And the other part is everybody already hates you. What are you going to do this for?
What are you doing
just going
to
hate you more. Now we actually have a real reason to hate you. We didn't like you, but now we hate you. That's how this works. You take a shot at hot dogs, you better not miss. And you missed big time, buddy.
You whiffed. You fucking whiffed. All right. The Dodger dog. I hate the Dodgers. I love a Dodger dog. I'll eat any hot dog. All right.
Any hot dog.
I've had motherfucking hot dog sushi. Is it a corn dog just cut up with ketchup on it? Yes, it is. But it made me feel more elegant. Did I eat with chopsticks? You're goddamn right I did. And I would do it again.
I knew you did.
I know you knew that. You see, you know.
I do more of a sort of like a mouth vacuum. Just kind of like hover over my plate and like, yeah.
You know what the move is, actually? This is an all-star. It's so not good. It made me laugh. Here's the move, all right? And people don't know this move. This is the move, especially if you're eating a dog at a game and you know, like you have to carry the thing and then you put the ketchup and mustard on top and then it gets on your tray and then you inevitably get it on your hand. Here's the move, everybody. You pour the ketchup and mustard on top or whatever your toppings may be. I don't topping shame. You can put whatever you want on that bad boy. A lot of people shit on mayo on hot dogs. It's delicious. Anyway, you put it on top and then you spin the wiener in the bun so that the condiments go to the bottom of the bun.
Oh,
that's the move. That's a good move. Yep. Just spin the wiener, guys.
Spin the wiener.
Spin the wiener. And then you don't get condiments anywhere. No, I just, that came together.
This is the best episode to just be talking about wieners too.
We can make all the dick jokes we want and nobody will call us immature.
Give a little spin.
Dev does every time. She's like, you guys always like, anytime you make a dick joke, like grow up. I'm like, shut up, nerd.
Not this episode.
Nah,
built-in dick jokes.
It's Sir Weiners time. But anyway, we get a quick check-in with the Bradleys, Joe Bradley and our boy Brad, and they are talking about the fake wedding and just the aftermath of everything and how Joe's feeling. And, you know, he's got a 1-year plan. The 1-year plan is to propose to Maddi soon. And he's like, well, how long have you been dating? He's like, 4 months. It's like, all right, well, whatever quantum physics you're doing to get to a year, it has not been a year. And I think the concern with the whole group is they know how excited he is. And then the flip side of it, as Brad points out, and he's 1,000,000% right. As Maddi's becoming more successful, we saw her in Vegas, and we watched, because she posted on social media and then a lot of people reposted certain things. Her DJ career is actually progressing. Like, she really is booking gigs across the country. Like, she's doing a pretty great job. So her career is starting to take off a little bit. Joe has alluded to this already in other episodes. He's concerned that she's going to, you know, leave the nest, leave Charleston and leave him there because he's the hometown guy. He wants to live in Charleston, wants to raise a family in Charleston, all that, which is great. And in his mind, that
you should date Craig.
You should date Craig. That's a good idea. You guys can hang out in his backyard. Anywhere. Yeah. You guys can stay there forever.
That works perfectly.
That does make a lot of sense. So yeah, maybe look into that. But his whole thing is that engagement ring makes him feel more secure. But what he's not recognizing is that while he's talking about these things and potentially jumping the gun, it is screaming insecure. Yeah, bringing up the wedding, all of these other things. We know what you're doing. And I know that you're trying to you want that feeling of, okay, we're okay. And that's a beautiful thing. And I get that. But at the same time, just a little, you know what I mean? Just pump the brakes ever so slightly. Like she's a great sport. She's not making him feel like he's overdoing it, but just ever so slightly tap the brake. Just a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it would go a long way if he just kind of like slowed down a little bit. Now, obviously, you know, they're still together, so it's fine. But I don't think, and I was going to save this for the last scene, but I'll just talk about it now. After Maddi went through that whole thing with Trevor, I think that she's in such a weird place. And like, yes, it did result in you and Joe finally coming together, finally dating. It works so well for Joe. Joe has been after you for years. You guys were best friends. You still are best friends. You're dating now. But you have to understand for Maddi, or at least from Joe's perspective, you have to understand you got to give her a little bit of time, a little bit of space to like figure it out. And like, yes, everything's great, but there is, and I'm not saying that he's love bombing her, but like you guys are in the honeymoon phase. Let's let this thing time out, make sure everything's all good, everything's all hunky dory before you start talking about those next steps. You can't be worried about this because I'll tell you right now, if this show is still booming for the next 4 or 5 years, you have 4 or 5 years until Maddi is going to consider moving out. She's not going to leave this show. She's a main component of a huge show on Bravo that's only getting better every year.
We can't have her leave. More revenue. She needs to stay. This show's too good.
I don't care how often she has to go travel for DJ work. She has to stay on the show.
Don't you fuck up the show.
Yeah, don't you dare. So you have that built in. You don't have to worry about her running away and doing stuff. Like, yeah, she's going to be traveling, but as you say, you want to go travel with her. So go ahead and do that. That's fine. But eventually things will even out. You won't go with her as much. You'll be able to go ahead and do that. You'll be able to trust her. You're not going to worry about it. You're going to be secure in your relationship. You just need to pump the brakes right now.
Just tap them brakes, big guy. Just ever so slightly. But
yep.
TJ and Leva sit down and we cut to her confessional and she's like, in all honesty, I didn't fully get it. Didn't understand the premise. That being said,
we know.
Yeah, because the first meeting
that first scene
was extraordinarily condescending from her. Yeah. Like you were mansplaining
hot dogs.
Yeah, like what? Do you understand how the food and bev business works?
Yeah.
Are you sure? It was almost like, oh, good for you. You bought a hot dog card. It's like, that's not nice.
Yeah.
But she gives him his flowers. She's like, this is really impressive. Like she really thinks that he's on to something. And he is. I mean, we get to this scene after that and it's TJ sitting down with Emmy. But during that, he talks about like, you can just seeing his smile. Like you're like, fuck yeah dude. Like you did earn this and you did pull it off. And it was a smashing
should be proud
success.
of himself.
He should. Yeah. I was fucking proud. I didn't even know the guy. Like I was proud of him. It's like you sold 100 tickets at the door. He made his money back for the most part. Like he almost broke even, which is unheard of in your first event. You could tell people there were having fun, which is even better because that pisses off Will that it actually worked out. This dude's trying to
oh my god, dogs. Yeah, dude.
That's like a little cherry on top. But yeah, I thought it was cool because it was more than the event, more than the hot dog cart. This is a moment where he bet on himself. He put a lot of work in. He got it all together. It worked out. You can tell he's got this new pep in his step, and you just see him kind of come into his own a little bit. And I think that's something that's been missing with TJ over the past few seasons is him trying to find that maybe. And who would have thunk it would have been a hot dog cart called Sir Weiners? But fuck yeah, dude! Like it was a cool moment to watch him like just get that confidence at the end of it all. I was like, fuck yeah, bro.
We got to see like the sense of relief kind of come over his face.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Everything went well. We got to see all of the angles. We got to see him very anxious beforehand, worried that it wasn't going to work out. Of course it was going to work out, but you know what? You can't let that doubt slip into your mind. You got to just keep pushing forward, and he earned it. And it was nice to see at the afterward. And nobody deserves anything more at this point after watching all of that, hearing his backstory, working, front, back, management, whatever he's been doing for food and bev for 10 years, finally finding something random, weird, niche that just works out. And it's something that you're going to be creative with all your merch out there. It's great. I love to see it.
No, it's really cool. But he sits down with Emmy. And obviously, they've been, this sucked, man. But obviously, they're tight. They've always been tight. So the hot dog party itself, she shows up wearing a hot dog costume. That meant a lot to him. She's there to support. She makes sure that she emphasizes multiple times that she's there to support because she's such a good friend. What?
Did we talk about Joe's text? Like, I really appreciated your text. And it was just Joe saying, hey, man, pump for today.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't know why I thought that was so
it's
fucking
the little
funny.
Things, dude.
Yeah.
It's the little things, man. Come on now. Yeah, that's
I don't know so why I laughed so hard at that. It's just so
with
funny.
Like a wow, that text emoji.
That text message made my day so much easier. I was so stressed out, but I saw your text. Thanks so much, Joe. I love that.
Well, because they had been rocky, and now he's got his boy back, and he's texting him.
I don't know why I found it so funny.
No, that is fun. I mean, it's funny because you're expecting like some little rah speech, and it's like, dude, so pumped, clapping hands emoji. But TJ brings something up to Emmy. He's like, I heard something from Taylor yesterday, and she said that it's all your. And before he could get it out, and don't worry, I did it again. With the nose right there. No. Panic. No. I knew this was going to come up. If you knew it was going to come up, then you fucked up. You said something stupid because you cut him off before you even got to it. So you know exactly what happened. You did blame it all on him. You talked shit to Taylor at his event. He called you out on it. But because he's on top of the world right now, because he's done dealing with your bullshit, he's going to sweep this, and he should. It's not worth his time because she's only going to deflect, and then she's going to have a panic attack. She's going to melt down. She's going to storm out of the bar and run over to Will. Then he's going to pretend that he's nice to her for one night, and he's going to go back to shitting on her. So it was correct to sweep this under the rug. But her saying immediately, I knew this was going to come up. It's like, then you knew you fucked up. You wouldn't know it was going to come up if you actually had said it was. She goes, I just said it was a rough summer. If that was the case, then you wouldn't be worried about backlash.
Yeah. And like, you didn't even use an excuse as to why you brought TJ's name up. Nope. You clearly singled him out for some reason. You could have said anything and said, yeah, you know what? I got a hard time from TJ, from Michols, from whoever, whatever, which is just factual. And you could say, yeah, you know what? Taylor didn't know the whole story. And I guess she just came back to you and said that. But like, it's nothing that you didn't know. She didn't use any of those excuses. She just acted like she didn't say any of it. And this is just what happens now. And what we've been watching over the last season and a half of Emmy, she's spiraling so much that she's doing shit and talking to other people. Taylor is very close to TJ. Taylor's probably closer to TJ than Emmy is. So why would you do that? That's just such a dumb move. And that just shows me you're not thinking. You are spiraling so far that you can't even realize or comprehend, hey, maybe I shouldn't be talking shit on TJ at his Sir Weiners party, which is a big deal for him, to his close friends that basically lived with him for a while. Probably not the best idea. Probably not. And the fact that, like you said, you walked out of that party saying, I guess that might get back to TJ. Maybe I should get ahead of it. You didn't even get ahead of it because TJ asked you the next day and you just cut him off and said, no. I didn't say anything bad about you. Like, no. In what world do you think that anybody's going to believe you the way that you've been acting? So it's just, I used to say it's tough to watch. It's brutal. It's whatever. I feel bad for her anymore. It's just stupid. It's just really dumb.
It just is. Period. I don't care. I don't care. And I was expecting the confessional from her where she's like, I'm just saying what he wants me to hear. I'm like, that's fucking mean because he's trying. He's making an effort to bridge the gap after he did nothing wrong but tried to be a good friend. You're claiming that you're a good friend by putting all this bullshit aside to support him. He was a good friend. All of your friends are good friends. Your boyfriend is a bad friend. You are a bad friend, especially to go to this confessional and pretty much explain your own behavior, but put it on TJ. He's a ticking time bomb. He's if you piss him off, he's going to say anything. I'm like, that's you.
And how do you not have the foresight to realize, hey, I'm saying some pretty fucked up shit in this confessional that he's going to see at some point? Do you want any friends? Like, we know Will doesn't care. Will is doing whatever Will's doing. He definitely doesn't want you to have friends. You're alienating yourself even further. If you were just like a sympathetic character at this point and going to your confessionals and being delusional and being upset and crying about all the shit that you're going through, people might still look at you and say, wow, I feel really bad for her. But if you start turning and you're being mean to people who are just trying to support you, you're going to lose all of your friends and you're going to be in such a worse place when Will cheats on you and breaks up with you. So have fun.
Sorry. I mean, yeah.
Hey,
perfectly said.
Them's the rules.
Them's the rules. We don't make them. We just follow them. But let's get to Maddi and her mom, because I mean, we got a quick scene with Joey Bottle just giving him a fist bump, like, "How do you do? You inspired me." And that's when he goes through his 100 tickets. We already talked about all that. But we get to Maddi. Maddi's mom. Maddi's mom's a good mom. She's a good mom.
Very good
because
mom.
they're chit-chatting about everything. And she's like, "Oh, I got fake married. Haha." And you can tell that set off a little bit. And that we watched Mom and Dad with Joe, and we know that they really like him. They support this relationship, but she's like a little alarmed. She's like, okay, whoa. Like, you guys have been dating for 5 months. This is pretty fast. And this scene also showed me how into it Maddi is, because this is an easy moment for her to be like, I know, like, it's a lot. And she's like, no, Mom, like, I'm really into Joe. I do see this as a future. It's all good stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, great, Maddi. But this next little part, I was like, this is my favorite. I love this shit because she's talking to her, and this is something I want to impart on my daughters and something that my mom imparts on my sisters. Like, you need to have your own thing. Like, you can have your relationship, but it's so important in a healthy relationship that you have your own thing. And I love that Maddi's like, I want to get in my own house. I want to do my own thing. I never have to rely on anybody else. I think that's so fucking awesome. That's why I respect Dev so much. Like, it's so fucking cool to me that she's such a strong, independent woman. And like, again, that's what I want my daughters to be like. So hearing that, I love that. Hearing her mom impart that in her and reiterate that.
Some brownie points in the middle of a podcast.
I wasn't even trying to. I praise Dev all the time on here. I'm just saying, genuinely, like, it's just something that I think is so cool. And to like hear that from Mom to be like, yeah, dude, this is great. But like, you got a lot of cool shit going on. So let's focus on you. Maddi reiterating, you're right. I want to focus on me. But not disparaging the relationship or what she feels for Joe. I'm like, this is good. This is good stuff. This is constructive. I hope Joey takes it well. I hope that this next scene isn't negative, because I knew what it was building up to. Is like, clearly Joe's going to come into the house. So like, hopefully this was all handled well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll give it like a 6. 6
on what scale? What's the scale?
Out of 10?
No, for what though?
How Joe handled it. This next scene.
So 10 being good.
Yeah. Did I go too high?
Yeah, I think you went a little too high. I think he panicked a little bit. I don't know. Look. I know a lot of people that go on Zillow and they're just looking at homes. People do it all the time. You see a house and pass.
That does it every day. We're not moving anytime soon.
No, but you pass a house on the street and you're like, oh, that's a cool house. I wonder how much it was. And then you go down a rabbit hole and you're looking at other places. That could be partially what she's doing. I don't think she's going to buy a house right now. She's talking about like investing in real estate. She likes living with her girlfriends. And this is what I talked about earlier with the whole Trevor thing. She's still reeling from that. She's in a really good place. She loves Joe. She loves their relationship. She knows that he's going to support her, but she does need a little bit of time to kind of get back to normal. And after all the shit that Trevor put her through, where everybody's like, what are you doing? She moved in with him. He cheated on her a bunch of times. He's a fucking bike taxi dude from Philadelphia, which is brutal for us.
No. He's from the main line. Okay.
All right.
Don't you fucking do that.
But still, it's just, you have to give her some time. And like, I got that. Everything that she was saying made total sense to me. She likes living with her girlfriends. She enjoys her life right now. And yeah, I get it that you're a little upset.
She enjoys her relationship. She likes where she's at with him right now. Yeah, too. That's important to note as well.
But Joe saying, he starts talking about like he has to take an Uber there every day of the week. All right. Like, I'm not going to tell you that you don't have to sleep with your girlfriend 7 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever it might be. But you don't have to. If it gets a little too cumbersome, you don't have to. Or here's an idea,
dude.
Yeah, dude. Like he says,
those Ubers, like save up for 3 weeks and put a down payment on a car, bro. What are we doing?
When she was talking about, she's talking about like, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a house, and like obviously at some point I'm gonna have to figure it out. Like I'll live on my own, or I'll live with you, whatever it might be. But like right now, I like living with the girlfriends. He goes, I have some money saved up. Like we could do this, and it's like, ugh.
You're not picking up what she's putting down, Joe.
Also, instead of investing that money into a house, buy a car, Joe. Get a car so you can drive over
junker.
There.
Like, who cares? Go on Craigslist and buy one. Just don't buy a Bronco from a trailer park in Bradenton for $1,000 cash, because the battery might catch on fire while you're driving.
Yeah, that's good advice to everybody that has impacted. Just steal.
Guilty. I love that truck, dude. 2 months I had that bad boy.
2 months.
The battery did catch on fire.
Oh boy.
Yeah. R.I.P. But Maddi makes good points during this too, and that's why I liked how she handled this whole thing, because she could have gone a few different ways. All would have been justified. She could have just totally like shut him down and be like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't need this right now. She would have been justified. But she handled it great, because she's understanding where he's coming from, but she also has really good retorts to be like, do you remember when I moved in with Trevor, how much shit you gave me? And Joe's like, well, yeah, but she's like, yeah, that was after 1.5 years of dating. We've been dating for 4 months. And she's like, and you have no idea what it's like. And this is true.
Yeah.
Like, from a dude's
I agreed with Joe, though. I kind of agree with Joe on this with the Trevor thing. Like, it is very different with Trevor. That wasn't you're moving too fast. That is this guy's a scumbag and you shouldn't trust him. Why would you move in with him?
I agree. But the other side of this is what Maddi says is something that Joe doesn't have to worry about, and dudes in general don't have to worry about. It's like Maddi going, you don't know what it's like to make a decision and have everybody question that decision around you and tell it to you as you're making that decision. That's something Joe wouldn't have to deal with. And I guarantee you, if she moved in with Joe after 4 months, she would hear about it from her friends. She would hear about it from her parents. It's just too fast. And I don't like that he took it like, well, don't ever compare me to him. It's like, she's not comparing you to Trevor. She's telling you this is the situation I just got out of. It was pretty heavy, pretty traumatic. I'm working through it. And I don't want to move too quickly and make a mistake for myself, because I'm thinking about me and my life that you want to be a part of. So in this instance, hear me. Don't take it personally, because she's not breaking up with you. She's laying down boundaries that she's comfortable with. And she's using past experiences to explain it. She's not saying that you're Trevor. Nobody thinks you're Trevor. We're all aware you're not Trevor. Trevor was the worst. So that's my point. Like he's taking it personally, and I understand he's putting himself out there a little bit. He's hoping this went a different way.
The whole thing, yeah.
He's a lot of insecure about the whole thing, but her responses should give him some confidence. She's not overreacting to it. She's not acting like it's the end of the world. She's not like, dude, whoa, way too much. She's actually entertaining it. She's like, just fucking give me a minute. And I'm like, yeah, you deserve a minute, Joe. She loves you. She's in. Fucking breathe, dude. Give her a little while.
But talking to her about like, are you gonna be like okay with me? Like, do you want to sleep with me like 6-7 days a week? And she takes like a slight hesitation.
She was joking. Like, she smirked.
Okay, yeah, I know. And he didn't catch it. He's like, I really wish
that took too long.
Would have answered that. Yeah, right.
That took way too long. It's like, Joe.
And he's like, well, yeah, you know what? You are my wife. And I love that he slipped another wife joke in there. It's like, dude, this is like, and it's again, I think that like when they're fighting, and obviously, you know, maybe for them it's not funny, but when they're fighting, like you said, funny. I think the way that Maddi's responding, it's obviously like affirmative. It's showing him some sort of support, saying that she's not going anywhere.
Just hold up.
Everything's fine. But it's just so funny when they do fight because I know everything's going to be okay with them. I think it's just so funny the way that he approaches things. The fact that he even had any wherewithal to throw a wife joke in there at the end, and he was serious again. But it's still just so funny to me that he's still doing it. Like he just gets stuck on it. He's like, "Yeah, you're my wife now. I mean, we have to sleep together."
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you don't want me in the house, you're fucking divorced.
You heard Elvis. He told us we had to sleep together.
I'm just following our vows, babe. They're gonna those crazy kids. They're gonna be all right.
Yeah,
let's get to some questions.
From Chandler Randler, does Will's hatred for hot dogs reinforce the fact that he's the devil? Yes,
1000%. I love how many people in here took that the same way we did. From Jalen D693. Is Will's biggest red flag hatred of hot dogs? Yes, it is. And a follow-up. Yes. Also, how would the bros rank sausage foods? Ooh,
what are we?
Man.
Let's pick like
a bratwurst.
Hot dog. Hot dog.
Should do like a sausage sandwich.
Yeah, let's do like a sausage and peppers.
Sausage and peppers.
Yeah, like sausage and peppers. Oh, that might
do one more. Breakfast sausage.
Yeah, I like that. Yes. I'm gonna go hot dog, sausage and peppers, bratwurst, breakfast sausage.
Mine is so close because I love sausage.
Yeah,
so I'm going hot dog, bratwurst, very closely followed. I mean, like a centimeter behind that is breakfast sausage.
Yeah,
and then sausage and peppers, but they're all in the
they're close, yeah. And the only reason that I didn't put breakfast sausage higher is because I do prefer bacon or pork roll over breakfast sausage. So.
Maybe it's because like my Texas in me, like it's more probably, sausage down there. We go sausage before we go bacon a lot of the time, at least where I grew up. So I love like fucking biscuits and gravy with a sausage patty. Like fuck me up. But yeah, I'm a big sausage fan.
Big wiener guy.
I had to get another wiener joke in there before this thing ends. From Stevie Mac.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, I will go ahead. From Stevie Mac, what are your thoughts on the theory that Emmy is batshit because of steroids? Whoa. No, she is not taking steroids.
No. I think she's batshit because her boyfriend's an asshole and he's gaslighting her.
She's not on
craziness.
She's definitely not on steroids. That's not what steroids do.
From my_Ellie dog, who made you cringe the most this week? Jesse Solomon, Joey Bottles, Emmy, or Shep?
I mean, Emmy,
Shep, I felt bad for her.
Emmy is more just like she's an outlier at this point. Yeah, because we just know what to expect.
Jesse,
probably Jesse.
I'm going to say Jesse.
Jesse and Lexi definitely was tough to watch.
Yeah, that's really tough.
And Joey, we'll just level with it. We know Joey too well to take that shit seriously. It just made us laugh more than cringe. And then Shep, you just can't, even though he deserved it. It's just, that was so hard to watch.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Last one from Destiny Mitchell. If Emmy's sister got a confessional, what do you think she would say after their lunch? She'd probably just look at the camera and make a Jim from The Office face.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I don't think that she would like actively verbally trash her sister in a confessional, but I think that she would probably flash a look at the camera that made everything make sense. And she was already doing that at lunch. So
yeah, I think you'd get one more Jim from The Office glance, and that would be the end of her confession. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had a better grasp on the whole situation than her sister, and she, you'll get it when you're older. I'm losing my mind. But this show is awesome. It rocks.
Yeah, it's great.
So good.
Love talking about it.
So good. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
I do not.
Well, that's our show. Bros gotta go.
Bye.